sweep. I had to sweep up this. I had to sweep and vacuum this motherfucker, man. 55 degrees outside. I feel like it's 80. Once you get a pen, trust me, pen and paper. Some sneakers like 5 months ago. So they showed up, but somebody passed away. And a nephew, my name was on the box. And this mother actually tried on sneakers, but somebody said, yo, you know who that is? And he was like, oh, is that Sensei? The one that was training us? Like, you know, I've trained him for like 5 years, you know, going back like about 8 years ago. So I trained him for 5 years, going back about 8 years ago. Before that, and he had to go, his father, well, you know, whatever. Somebody passed away, and he saw me, and said, "Meet me over at Hibbett's." And I was like, "Okay, what?" He said, "I got something for you. I got a package." I was like, "Okay." So it wasn't in the package that it comes in at the UPS, what you call it, drops it off, UPS. So I was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Yo, man, you know, passed away." And I was like, "Yeah, well," I said, "I figured you know, so and so would bring it," and it hasn't been really good ever since, you know. So, you know, we was going through stuff to bury, because they buried a lot of stuff with them. And I said, my boy saw the name, I didn't even pay attention. I just opened up, I was like, what's this? He was like, hey, your feet too big. As long as my sneakers. And I was like, mother, if I'd have saw you walking around in my sneakers, you know what it said? No, that's why I called you. So I was like, oh, he's you know, graduate high school and everything. So wonderful kid. Not a bad kid. So that's what you saw me playing with, was my Jordans and shit. So I was the last ones I had bought. So, you know, I'm not buying them. I've got so many sneakers. I got sneakers I haven't worn. I mean, if I was to sell shoes right now, brand new, I got sneakers I got enough sneakers. I can sell them for like over $2,000, y'all, just easily. You'll never see me buy that kind of shit, even though I have stuff that don't have names. I got tons of Kung Fu shoes, moccasins, you know, it's just, I mean, if it was a woman or two or three here, you know, they be rocking them on their feet, or we walking around Bedford. You know? But it was a pleasure, you know what I'm saying? That his friend remember. He's like, you remember who used to train us? Who? Sifu Red. And I was like, oh shit. He said that. He's like, and then he said, oh, because they remember the beatings I used to give him. You know, like powerful. You know, like bamboo. You know, kicking, walking up and down the whole 2 blocks, like just holding their arms out with weights in their hand, and we get back, and I do it with them, you know, and they be half dead, and I'm like, oh, that's just getting warmed up. And then standing up against the building, the horse stands with their hands out with 2-pound weights in their hands. But like, they couldn't hold it for a minute, 2 minutes. I had them going for like 30 minutes. And now, football and everything, he's still doing martial arts. He goes to New Mexico and everything. He don't look like any other Navajo around. Him and his brother, his boy, you know, they look like, you know, and I told him, don't go in the military. I says, when you get away from here, stay the fuck away from here. So he got a sister, girlfriend. He don't even look nothing like the rest of the Navajo. He looks totally different because he maintains a healthy diet. He don't be eating no pork, no beef. I'm telling you, your diet determines how you look and function. And he was big out. Yeah, I'm a big cat now. Don't get it twisted. I ain't no small fry. Let's put it like that. Homeboy grabbed me. I was like, God damn, boy. You know, he's like, damn, you still He's like, you still sound like Still. I was like, no, I'm a little mushy now, but God dog, man. Boy, I had to jack lock down on you. I thought you was gonna give me a friendly little good hug. That's one of them I miss you hugs, man. A good solid hug. It felt good, you know. I want to bring a little tear to my eye, and I was like, yo, you see, he says he threw the arch up like Bruce Lee. I was like, okay, bring it down. I'll be letting people see. What did I tell you about that? Do more, show less. Thank you. He threw that arch up there. I was like, so you can hit a split? I said, I can do it all. So I'll be flipping now. I said, nobody on the res was doing that. He's like, well, that's what happened when I got away. Had my damn Snickers. Hey, look, I don't have the bag. Hey, the bag is not in it. 5 months ago. You know, he passed away around the same time my boy Johnny passed away. Hurt me both ways. It hurt me. So, and when you meet really good people in your life, and you raise them with good honors, and they have an understanding, and they're self-compelled to listen, and they accept. It's the people who run around who have zero acceptance. The people we need to look at, and not study. We need to look at them and see them as why. It doesn't mean that we have to be irrational and hateful in thought. The love that's compelling us to have empathy means that we recognize it. Doesn't mean that we have to act against it. It is not a decree of war against you or I. That's why I don't do these arguments and these battles. If I say bring them here to have a conversation, you better believe they better be lucrative in knowledge, not sitting there like that Sarnetta, the goofy little homosexual that always throwing things off left and right. You know, talk sideways and side jerks. You know, that's what a lot of them do. No, man. I'm gonna hit you with facts, and I'm gonna break out a whole bunch of books. You're gonna look like this. This nigga got a library. Exactly. And I'm gonna set them all behind me, and I'm gonna sit on the floor Indian style, and I'm gonna have them all around me, and I'm gonna say, where you want to start? That's what's gonna happen. So anywho, got my, and I was like, damn, I don't even know if I want to wear them. I might want to sell them. Somebody said, but I said I got them when they first was coming out. I ordered them. And everybody, oh no, they're redone. Don't give me that. So I might not even wear them. I just have to check them. See if he got his big old stinky feet up in his big old feet, like my brother. Dwight. Big old bunches. I was like, you couldn't put them thing on your feet. You should be able to look at that. The size 10 and a half. So, you know, he's 13. I mean, I put my foot, I was like, cuz, what kind of, you can see your foot bigger than the box, cuz. What you? We laughed. It was good. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this reading. That was, I guess that was a good enough laugh. How are you all doing? Halito Chukma, Shalom, Shelah, Halito Chukma, Osio, Shishi, a couple of Chinese visit. I'm not gonna go through all of them, god dang it. So you know, Buenas noches, it's not dia, it's not what you call it yet. So Buenas noches, hello to everybody. All right, so let's get this reading in. Appreciate y'all more than anything. What they say? A true green-blooded American. Yes, sir. A true green-blooded American. Know about the rest of y'all. If you're red-blooded, that means you're cold and dead. If you're blue-blooded, you might want to have that looked into. Not enough iron or chlorophyll in you. All right? Facts. Anywho, let me go ahead and pull this up. What do y'all know about Washington, D.C.? What do they have you believing? It's the capital, right, of America, right? Check this out. No, it's not. America belongs to no one but the rightful owners, the heirs, the true aboriginals of this land. The Treaty of Washington was a treaty signed and ratified by the United Kingdom and the United States in 1871 during the first premiership. I gotta pull up because this is Wikipedia, and I want y'all to see the hypocrisy, and you might have a little more ideology that might help you in further studies. Okay, the United Kingdom, and the United States in 1871 during the first premiership of William Gladstone and the presidency of Ulysses S. Grant. It settled various disputes between the countries, including the Alabama claims for damages to American shipping caused by British-built warships, as well as illegal fishing in Canadian waters and British civilian losses in the American Civil War. It inaugurated permanent peaceful relationships between the United States and Canada and United States and Britain. After the arbitrators endorsed the American position in 1872, Britain settled, because you got to remember 1872 and 1875 is when those of us who really ran this land were planning, who still had the status of white, the original status of white purity, were changing hands to subjugate those down there as they moved melanated partitions into the capital, into Washington, or whatever you want to call it, who were not of this land or half us. Listen. Britain settled the matter by paying the United States $15.5 million, approximately $360.6 million in 2021, ending the dispute and leading to a treaty that restored friendly relations between Britain and the United States. That international arbitration established a precedent, and the case aroused interest in codifying public international law. Now listen to this. I'm not going to get into all the signatories, because the majority of them were Canadian, well, half and half. Listen to this. Fox 5, Miles Bernard reports live from Britain Embassy. No. Okay. In mid-August 2018, areas of the UK city of Liverpool were transformed into the US capital for season 3 and 4 of the big budget Netflix. What y'all don't get about all this, public politicians and diplomats, including Vice President Kamala Harris, paid their respects. Why? Pay attention. Why isn't Washington, D.C. a state? Here's why D.C. license plates say "in taxation without representation." Leading up to the American Revolution, one of the colonists' chief complaints, no, motherfucker. Oh, sorry, it's my language. I should know better. Chief's complaints about the British Empire was that it imposed taxation without representation, a slogan that Washington, D.C. has since adopted as its unofficial model. In 2000, D.C. started printing taxation without representation on all the city's standard license plates. And in 2016, the city updated it to end taxation without representation. The license plates reference the fact that DC residents pay federal taxes without having any voting representatives in the U.S. Congress, and they're part of a long history of DC's fight for the same voting rights and self-governance as the 50 states. After Reconstruction, Congress abolished DC's government. Washington, D.C. is the ancestral home of the Nakota people, all right, also known as Anacostans. After British colonists drove them out of their land, it became part of, and those were Negroes, Maryland, not Mongols, Maryland and Virginia. In 1790, both of these states seceded the territory to establish the District of Columbia as the capital of the United States. At the time, there were about 3,000 people living in D.C., too few to become a state. And white men who owned property in D.C. continued to vote in their Maryland or Virginia as they had before. You see, they didn't mention the indigenous. The U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, instructed that the seat of government be a district not exceeding 10 miles square, over which Congress would exercise exclusive legislation. Only James Madison spelled out the reason for the arrangement, explaining that maintaining an isolated district would prevent any state from holding too much power by being home to the national government. Starting in the early 19th century, Congress established a series of different government models that allow voters to elect some local leaders while stripping them of their previously held right to vote for president or elect voting members of Congress. Then in the 1870s, Congress stripped D.C. of its local representation. I'll tell you why in a minute. During Reconstruction, 1944, 43, 45, whatever, Black Americans made up about a third of D.C.'s population. Once Black men won the right to vote in local D.C. elections, a third. In 1867, they quickly established themselves in the city's local government. Congress responded by dismantling the government through new laws in 1871 and 1874, which was not the Reconstruction period, that gave the president, whom D.C. residents still couldn't vote for, the sole power to appoint D.C. leaders. Excuse me. Something popped up. Okay. Something just popped up and moved all my stuff down. Okay. Residents of right vote their own local government as well as the congressional members and presidents oversaw the government. Okay. All right. Was explicit about his internet, blah, 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 blah. It threw me off. Hold on. Okay. John Tyler Morgan, a former Confederate soldier. Oh, no, here we go. 87 gave the president, whom D.C. residents still couldn't vote for, the sole power to appoint D.C. leaders. The president couldn't consult with Congress when appointing these leaders. But because D.C. voters couldn't elect voting members of Congress, they had no way to influence these decisions. Check this out. The president, congressmen, and many federal staff members remained immune to these changes because they were registered to vote in their home states. DC's restrictions on voting and self-governance only applied to full-time residents, and like the voting restrictions that southern states used to prevent black men from voting after Reconstruction. The takeover. These restrictions were specifically designed to suppress black political power because you know why? I'm about to hit you in the head. John Tyler Morgan, a former Confederate soldier who joined the U.S. Senate in 1877, was explicit about this intent. He said Congress had to burn down the barn to get rid of the rats. The rats being the Negro population and the barn being the government of the District of Columbia. Because we ran it all. And you know what? D.C. right now, it belongs under the crown of England. And everybody here is subject because they have their own constitution. Why do you think they leeway, not Delaware, not Pennsylvania, to D.C., that little 10 fucking miles, and peep this, because they included Georgia, Virginia, this and other, betraying states. You know why? Brother against brother was actually a war fought between us. The Revolutionary War as well. Why do you think Crispus Attucks was the first one to fall? And they always talk about Paul Revere, who was a British spy, yet it was a Negro and a mulatto woman who were the ones who sounded the alarm, and it was us who went and whooped Britain's ass, and what they did was they made a transponder because after that, then all their people kept coming on a fucking boat all the way up into the 1920s and 40s when the majority came and the hands started to shift. Now we get the 1940s and then we get the 1945, but because of 1871 to 75, 76, the traitorous Negroes, the ones you know now, the black African, what you call it, who have morals or mores, them are the sons of bitches that right now under guise and a lie and hidden in plain sight by the Zionists, who were the same people of the Dutch West Indies who participated in changing hands like Albert Pike, sorry ass, and a few others, created this fallacy you see right now. I know nobody wants to come and listen. I know y'all don't want to share this, but this is what the fuck I do. Right now, because of the Vatican, motherfuckers. When I tell you that they're all the same, that's why the president ain't shit. Now, let's get on to our goddamn reading. I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to that. What you might perceive as a rant and rave, that was passion. That was love. And I've been saying this for quite some time. I might be a little off the jargon, but what are we doing with sea laws that really don't apply to us? And I keep telling you, because you're a black African American, if you got the jab, the ouchie Fauci, you are fucked. Because of your ignorance and your fear. Where your Jesus at and your Muhammad now? All right, so chapter 40. I'm not doing slander. I'm saying a fact. If Farrakhan would have got that shot, he wouldn't be here today. Please, save that shit. I know many women of FOI who got blood clots who have since passed on. They act like it's all natural. I be listening to my people out in North talking about this one, Brooklyn, Manhattan. Oh, I'll be like, what? Yeah, she was healthy as fuck, bodybuilding and shit. It's all gonna come out. And then that nigga they can close down little platforms and move us and everything. That don't mean shit. Because it's affecting everybody. The lies. They have their own constitution, people. I keep telling y'all that. Which don't mean shit on this soil. Anyway, chapter 40. And after I saw thousands of thousands and 10,000, 10 times 10,000, I saw a multitude beyond number and reckoning who stood before the host or the creator of all spirits. Do you know what that number is? Let's just go 10,000 times 10,000 times 10,000 times 10,000. what do you get? Ain't that around 200 million? Could you imagine looking over a vast sea? Now, the thing about when he first says, after that I saw thousands of thousands and tens of thousands times 10,000. I saw a multitude beyond number and reckoning who stood before the Creator, the host of spirits. And on the four sides of the Creator, I saw four presences, different from those that sleep not. And I learned their names, for the angel that went with me made known to me their names and showed me all the hidden things. And I heard the voices of those four presences as they uttered praises before the Creator. The first voice blesses the Creator forever and ever. And the second voice I heard bless the elect one and the elect ones who hang upon the Creator. And the third voice I heard pray and intercede, those chants, and for those who dwell on the earth and supplicate in the name of the Creator. Do you think that we need to know the name? Well, the beautiful thing is, what's your name? And I heard the fourth voice fending off the Hashatans and forbidding them. Hashatans, not one. Because it's Jannah, the darkness, the vile, the wicked, the evil, whatever word you want to use. I just use darkness. Before the Creator, to accuse them who dwell on the earth. Listen, and I heard the fourth voice fending off the Hashatans and forbidding them to come before the Creator, to accuse them who dwell on the earth. After that, I asked the angel of peace, because see, they fucked everybody up here and they want to go up there crying. Look at your creation. After that, I asked the angel of peace who went with me, who showed me everything that is hidden. Who are these four presences which I have seen and whose words I have heard and written down? And he said to me, this first is Michael, I forget how to pronounce it really, the merciful and long suffering. And the second, who is set over all the diseases and all the wounds of the children of men, and Raphael. And the third, who is set over all the powers, is Gabriel. And I remember it's Michael. All right, so, and the fourth, who is set over the repentance unto hope of those who inherit eternal life, is named Phanuel. And you never heard that before. And these are the four angels of the host of the Creator of spirits, and the four voices I heard in those days. Chapter 41. And after that I saw all the secrets of the heavens, and how the kingdom is divided, and how the actions of men are weighed in the balance. And there I saw the mansions of the elect and the mansions of the holy. See, it's one thing if you act upon something in ignorance, it's another thing if you do it in the knowing. If you are in the knowing and knowledge of what your actions are, and you know of a greater, then anyway, being driven from thence, which deny the name of the host of the spirits, and being dragged off, and they could not abide because of the punishment which proceeds from the hosts of spirits. And their mine eyes saw the secrets of the lightning and of the thunder and of the secrets of the winds, how they are divided to blow over the earth, and the secrets of the clouds and dew. And there I saw from whence they proceed in that place, and from whence they saturate the dusty earth, desolate. And there I saw closed chambers, of which the winds are divided, the chamber of the hail and winds, the chamber of the mist and of the clouds, and the cloud thereof hovers over the earth from the beginning of the world. And I saw the chambers of the sun and moon, whence they proceed and whither they come again, and their glorious return, and how one is superior to the other, and their stately orbit, and how they do not leave their orbit, and they add nothing to their orbit, and they take nothing from it. There's an order to it, orbit. And they keep faith with each other, for they are knowing. Do you think living mist, so-called water and vapors, don't know their place? Do not. It is us who attempt to change everything, to restrict and to detract from that so-called water, in accordance with the oath by which they were bound together. They call it molecules, H2O, and all other shit. And first the sun goes forth and traverses his path according to the commandment of the host of spirits, and mighty is his name forever and ever, the sun. And after that I saw the hidden and the visible path of the moon, and she accomplishes the course of her path. She's supposed to help us to rest, to heal. Yes, it's a lower energy, but it's not what people think it is. And she accomplishes the course of her path in that place by day and by night. By day and by night. So what does that mean, y'all? The one holding a position opposite to the other before the host of spirits, and they give thanks and praise and rest not. It's continual, non-stop. For unto them in their thanksgiving rest. Thanksgiving rest. Not party, gluttony, greed, presents, gifts. Rest. See how they reversed everything? A salutatory, a celebration of some shit that's not ours. And all those little young people are like, that's ours. No, it's not. For the sun changes off for a blessing or a curse. 7 sisters, a certain Jericho, a witch call that made it stand still, and the 7 sisters brought it down to scorch the earth at a time. And the course of the path of that's why I say voodoo is nothing but spirit work. How you think the Haitians defeated and how our ancestors beat them and never really lost until the subjects are subjugated to something else who were caught. Not everybody could. People around the world powerful all over, but it's a little different. And the course of the path, of the moon is light to the righteous, I guess, and darkness to the vile, the evil, and darkness to the sinners in the name of the host of the souls, who made a separation between the light and the darkness, and divided the spirits of men and strengthened the spirits of the righteous in the name of his righteousness. Listen to that again. And divided the energy of souls of men and strengthened the spirits of the righteous. Do you see why I keep telling you it's important to better yourself? Stop the quarreling, the bickering, the stupid arguing. It's not a race, it's not a competition. Because if you are in a competition, you're going to lose against your brethren. For no angel hinders and no power is able to hinder. For he appoints a judge for them all, and he judges them all before him, not these fake motherfuckers under the system of lies. I had to say it that way because that's what they are. Chapter 42, and we'll close this. Wisdom found no place where she might dwell. Wisdom found no place where she might dwell. And then how can, if that wasn't the case, then how can you have Sadducees? We're talking about on the dark side. But then how can you have those who lift the men up and make them powerful, and the men be the protectors? Wisdom's not only in warfare, like we're reading in Hashimoto, but it's also of those who provide the nourishment, never removing the umbilical cord until it's time to be removed. Many of our women have lost that way, and we see not the wisdom. We see angst, envy, we see designer drugs in the living. And then you wonder why the men are broken. Then a dwelling place was assigned her in the heavens. If you only knew, wisdom went forth to make her dwelling among the children of men, and found no dwelling place. Wisdom returned to her place, and took her seat among the angels. And of righteousness, this is all applies to us. And unrighteousness went forth from her chambers. She defiles herself to this day. Fake marriages. When you get married under this Christian shit, you don't belong to one another. You belong to the state, to the crown, a fake crown. and their God, their lofty ruler, whatever the fuck, whom she sought not she found, and dwelt with them, as rain in the desert and dew on the thirsty land. So you keep listening to these goofy niggas out here, and I've been telling y'all for a long time, stop listening to these people always talking about there's UFO and that. They make themselves notice and let themselves be seen whenever they choose, and some of them ain't what you think. There are people from here utilizing crafts and machines that they've been able to develop in secret by the hands of them. I am telling you, you are not prepared. I'm not going to say, I'm going to say least. Now, I wish to return to our symbols, specifically the tetractys. Tetractys, as in Greek, tetractys, also known as the tetrad, or the tetractys. This is a triangular figure consisting of 10 points. Arranged in 4 rows, there are 1, 2, 3, and 4 points in each row. Let's see if they're going to allow. They're going to allow it to pull up. And I'll show you. I'm going to have to put this on charge too. I'm going to show it's a TAT, right? I want to use the Greek one. Yes, and it's right there. It pulled it right up. Awesome. I just put like 4 letters in. Right, so a lot of y'all should know what this is if any of y'all do geometry, or if you're into like, what do they call it? He loves this music. He's up looking at the screen. It's so beautiful. It's very ambient. But if you're in, what's that thing called that everybody's into now with all the, they call it the Jewish, the tech, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. I hate the word. When I detest something and I was part of it, I move away from it and I refuse to utilize it. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like. And a lot of people are involved in this now because they actually believe in it in some kind of morbid way. There's some facts to it. What word am I talking about, y'all? Everybody's all into the signs and the numbers and this means that. I'm not going to give it energy. It ain't going to hurt you if you're a little weak to say what it is. Images. Bing. So it's been used all over in mysticism. So you know what I'm talking about, all right? I'm going to download it. That way we can just have a gander without all the swabble around it. And then you can see who has been using it against you and have a bigger idea, a clue as to certain things. And I know we can pull up the nomadic one, the monad and all that. And there are people who make juries of these things. Do not ever wear one. All right? Just don't. All right, so let's pull it up. And I know we just got in, but I just want you to see what it looks like. Okay. This is the Tetractys Pyramid of Emanations. Want to take a screenshot? Go right ahead and take a screenshot. Okay? I just want y'all to know whatever it is I'm talking about when there's something I think that may be of importance. All right. This is a triangular figure consisting of 10 points arranged in 4 rows. There are 1, 2, 3, and 4 points in each row, which is the geometrical representation of the fourth triangular number as a mystical symbol. It was important in the secret worship. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Secret worship of Pythagoreanism. I forget how that word's pronounced. Y'all know how it's pronounced? Anyway, Pythagoreanism, which I pronounced it wrong, I know it. There happened to be 4 seasons, and this number was also associated with planetary motions and music. So we already know 2 different things there are misleading. The secret method of using numbers was called gematria, which held a common practice throughout the Hebrew nation, mysticism. Many numbers had a specific relevance to Hebrew history, and that's why we fell. You say Jews. And their culture, especially their religious culture. The Hebrews had no specific numbering system, but numbers were allocated as a consonant, and there were also no actual vowels. Why is it that the Yiddish had to put vowels to create new words? Remember they came here and went to Ethiopia to figure out what certain scrolls said and were refused? Because everyone knew who they were. So they worked in the background. At this point, John Smith asked for pen and paper to enable him to write out the following to assist the 7 individuals' understanding. An excellent example of this use is the actual name of the Hebrew God. The patient carefully wrote the following: "You can check my calculations, or you can accept my words as being truthful." Is God to the Hebrews. I'm going to hold this up. Whoa. And remember always saying, Hawa, light? What makes you think he has a name? I never even looked at this one, y'all. I'm serious. You better screenshot it. Screenshot it. HVH. You screenshot it? Did you know that on average, the human heart beats 72 times a minute? For ye are gods, breathe, raise your frequency and vibration, connect to the earth, for the earth and you are one, 8 hertz. It is not unreasonable to suggest that a great power is constantly within our hearts. Jacob's ladder, which I have already spoken of, has 72 angels traveling up and down, besides having 72 rungs. Also, 72 elders make up the Hebrew Sanhedrin. I speak to you now of words. The word Atan was not the sun, but the power behind the sun, or the life giver. The letter T is the equivalent to the Hebrew letter D, so the word becomes Adon. In addition, the vowel E can be interpolated with O, and the word thereby becomes Adon. Adonai, which in Hebrew became Lord, as in Adonai. So Lord, we can throw that away. We already broke that etymology down. And the word then becomes my Lord, which Adonai stands alone. Hawa, light. Proving a close connection between Hebrew and Egyptian, these studies were established in ancient Egypt within the Enlightenment dynasty, the 18th dynasty, by the pharaoh Akhenaten. Many academics refer to the early Hebrew nations as Israelites. The early Hebrew nations as Israelites. This is wrong, for they did not become Israelites until a short time after settling in Canaan, which was then named Israel. The name Israel is derived from a combination of 3 Egyptian syllables or words. Is from Isis, Ra, who I have previously told you that the sun god of Egypt, and El, which is the Egyptian word for Adonai, or Lord. The tribes who journeyed to Canaan became Israelites, who were of course who were of course Hebrew. This word originates from the word Habaru, which is the common tongue meant wanderer. Remember I was telling you about the Hatak people who left here and went around the earth knowing that it was about to go through a serious change in the 11th century. Visited the Anu Islands, the Ming Dynasty, and all of them, and were handing out fighting scrolls all over Ethiopia, everywhere. At this point, Appleyard noticed a prolonged humming sound coming from the medical equipment, plugged about the patient's body. As the sound grew, it pulsated deep inside everyone's eardrums. Bullets checked the ECG unit, thinking equipment had faltered, for it showed John Smith had flatlined. Panic swiftly set in among the 7 onlookers, for it appears that the patient had died. But then he spoke, much to everyone's relief. Do not fear, I am very much alive. Your kind thought me dead 2,000 years ago, but I needed to return to create a better world for your children, to let them live in peace, love, and harmony. Inspector Thomas felt threatened and blurted out 2 questions. Are we listening to the ravings of a madman, and I don't know how could a demon have possessed you and trying to trick us? A demon, you say? Calm yourself, Inspector. To your first question, let me assure you that I am very much completely sane. As to your second question, take heed of what William Shakespeare wrote. The evil that men do lives after them. That good is oft interred with their bones. Now listen to my words and concentrate, for I have not much time left upon the earth. Whilst I have been conversing with you, I have realized that the custodians have always been right in their analysis of your kind. You could have been the champions and protectors of all you know, but instead you tried to stand in a high judgment, becoming the executioner of everything you considered beneath your status. Now it is our turn. The custodians have judged mankind guilty of untold crimes against everything that has ever lived on the earth, either in the skies above or the oceans below. Holy laws dictated I was to become all things to all men, and that is as true today as it was 2,000 years ago. To the weak I became weak, that I might gain the weak. So I have the means to save some from the wrath of Adonai, assuming they want to be saved. Thomas stood up, unable to contain his rage any longer. How dare you sit in judgment on us? We have done our best to help you. And yet you treat us with indifference and arrogance, and yet he's the one acting it with indifference and arrogance, with an ego, not paying attention. You haven't given us your name or even your intentions, but we have politely listened to your words of wisdom as well as your damning opinions. Trisha Hunt agreed with Marcus. You must be aware that long before the days of newspapers and electronic devices, news was spread by singing minstrels and Gregorian monks. Are you aware of this beautiful song? It is full of meaning, and it that was sung at my mother's funeral, Trisha told the custodian. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, to everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every, y'all can pull up that 60s shit. A time to born, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plan, a time to read, a time to kill, a time to heal, blah, blah, blah. A time to week, I forget the name, but people have made it. You know what? I think it's seasons. It's actually in my and maybe I can play a little gist of it if I can pull up my I'm gonna turn the thing on so you can hear it. Suicide Plane with Snow. That's not what I'm looking for. It was actually called is it? I don't think that's it. Here it goes. All right, I'm gonna play this real quick. I don't want copyright on this, so which ain't gonna bother me, but I'm just stating a fact, okay? Oh, I got this one. Excuse me. I'm gonna slide this down and turn this one off because it's not the one I want to connect. My apologies. I gotta spool all the way up. All right. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you got the gist of it. So she's arrogant and ignorant. And it goes on, the whole song. And that is called Turn, Turn, Turn by the Byrds, if you remember. Marcus fell silent, holding back his tears. I wasn't going to try to sing the whole song because it's not my tone. Holding back his tears. It was Trisha who was singing, and it was Trisha who spoke next, attempting or trying to calm her emotions. Most of the historical religious texts I have known state that for every disgusting act, there is an equal act of benevolence. And for every thought of war, there is an equal period of peace. The underlying message is that there has to be a balance between good and evil. No, there doesn't. Trisha, as the historian, was content with her response. Thomas, still seething, tried to interject. Religion has killed more than any disease and caused more infant mortality than anything else. How do you explain that? Everyone about the patient's bed noticed his pained expression, for he had no answer to offer, and just for a moment, time for him appeared to stand. At long last, Marcus Thomas spoke. We have no idea who you are, but if you judge us as barbaric, how would you describe yourself? I doubt you consider yourselves as innocent. I feel you and your kind must have entrenched those evil perceptions in our minds in the first place. To everyone's surprise, the patient stood up unaided some distance from his bed and positioned himself in the center of the room and begged us for forgiveness. My work here is nearly complete, but just as the all-seeing eye required 7 days to create and populate the earth, I require 7 blinded individuals to sit before me. Each and every one of you has spoken, but failed to listen. You are blinded by refusing to witness that what needs to be seen. And you have questioned, but you have not allowed me to answer. My name is Omnipotent. Others call me by my ancient Egyptian name, Thoth. I am the all-powerful, invincible, and supreme I. I hereby withdraw my strong, outstretched arm and any steadfast love, for I cannot endure mankind any longer. I realize that man will always let me down. Because of your selfish and ill-conceived ways, mankind has raped and polluted his planet. He has committed murder in my name. Hear me, for I know I speak the truth. You believe that war is always the answer, but it cannot be an answer to anything. More horsemen are the punishers. You have already witnessed my first horseman riding upon his white steed. My second horseman rides beside you on his red mount. He has been with you throughout your warring years. The third horseman rides his black stallion, signifying famine, and the wealthy have turned their back on all those who desperately need your help and assistance. My last horseman rides his pale green horse to bring death, or specifically your impeding deaths. My 4 horsemen have been set free on their divine pilgrimage. You must accept their judgment, but as you have told me, religion cannot stand to be blameless. Mr. Marcus Thomas, rest assured I will consider your words for mercy and understanding most carefully. Trisha Hunt instinctively sought out Marcus' hand as they inexplicably hugged each other. For reassurance, fear was etched on both their faces, while other members of the group demonstrated parallel feelings of dread and anxiety. Time ticks by, so please make the most of what remaining time you have left on Earth. Remember, though, that a millennium to mankind might be a millisecond to the eye. You have spoken truthfully. I accept the fact that religion has undoubtedly slaughtered more than anything else under the canopy of heaven. Canopy of heaven. I will speak on your behalf and put forward your claim. However, I have to inform you of other truths before I leave this place. In ancient Egyptian culture, when a person died, they were guided by Anubis to the Hall of Truth, also known as the Hall of the Two Truths. There they would make their negative confession, also known as the Declaration of Innocence. This was a list of 42 sins in which the person had to declare they had never indulged. Once the negative confession was made, Osiris, Thoth, and Anubis, as well as the 42 judges, would confer. If their confession was accepted, the heart of the deceased was to be weighed in the sacred scales against the white feather of Ma'at, called the feather of truth. If the heart was found to be lighter than the feather, the soul passed on towards heaven. But if the heart was heavier, it was thrown onto the floor to be devoured by Amot, the monster goddess, and that soul would cease to exist. If you are willing to test your hearts against the purity of Marat's feather, so be it. And we will pick up this last little part before we get into the sessions tomorrow. Excuse me. Now, if you understand the custodians and what we're about to read now, you know that this is a big game, because he said as a custodians, but he's speaking about the Anunnakis. But which ones were which? For one is interceded and one was so-called protected, and it was nothing but a plaything. They seek the truth of creation, for they don't have what we have. Remember, they're immortal. Remember, you're taught that angels, the term, are immortal. See, we are different. We are light and life, as well as immortal in something greater. So what we have here is a play. Well, you got to remember, this is written by somebody. A play on words that are divisive. And it's very important that you have clarity of understanding of what I'm reading. I'm reading it with purpose. All right? All right, here it is. You're going to like this. Flatlantis. I want to put this name in here and see if it's the name that I remember, just to make right. I want to type it in as it is written to see. Is that? Yeah. It is. Woo! And when I show you this, now you will know the reason why I am doing what I am doing. Remember, researcher and author John G. Bennett also wrote a paper entitled The Hyperborean Origin of the Indo-European Culture, in which he argues that ancient languages were more advanced, have developed into our current languages, and likely originally traced back to a lost polar civilization. This idea has also been promoted by esotericists, bullshit, like Helen Blavatsky, Ren Junon, and Julius Evola. Now there's a picture with all of them together, who all shared a belief in the Hyperborean polar origins of mankind. According to them, during a golden age, humanity solidified into this material realm and has since undergone de-evolution rather than evolving from apes. They insist humanity has progressively developed into an ape-like condition. Who am I talking about? Am I always asking y'all to research the Theosophical Society? Well, here's that bitch. But y'all don't want to do anything asked of you because you're too goddamn lazy. Let me pull this up too. I don't know. Some of y'all know me on Facebook. And y'all know that I've been fucking asking people for the longest time to look into this shit, and y'all just ignore me. And now I'm gonna show you the seal of the Theosophical Society, and maybe you'll have a little fucking insight instead of. I'm going back because I want to show a picture of the Theosophical Society. I'm gonna show you a seal that they have, and you get out the way. Okay, members. Oh, here they go. Here go the bastards. Yes, yes, yes. And when you see this, and you see some of the things they're wearing and what they represent, maybe you have a little clarity. This is the seal of the Theosophical Society. You want to take a screenshot and you want to look it up? There is no religion higher than truth. Whose truth? Now, these are the fucking members. I say that with no delight because I can't stand not near one of these motherfuckers. These are the scourges of earth and what we're dealing with right now. These are the protagonists and the antagonists. All right? Are you paying attention now? I'm so grateful that you are. Thank you. Anyway, Julius Evola, who all shared a belief, don't worry about that, in the Hyperborean polar origins of mankind. According to them, during a golden age, humanity solidified into this material realm and has since undergone the evolution. Rather than evolving from apes, they insist humanity has progressively developed into an ape-like condition. It is admitted that many of the present explanations of these traditions and legends are unsatisfactory, and as our knowledge of the ancient man is increased, our becomes more definite by new discoveries in archaeology, geology, and anthropology. So why would they have to do all that studying if they've always been here? Now, let me clarify something, or they weren't put away for a long time. These explanations will have to be revised from time to time, any defects in them due to our imperfect understanding of the sentiments, the habits, and even the surroundings of the ancient man corrected. That human races have preserved their ancient traditions is undoubted, though some or many of them may have become distorted in course of time. What do you think they did to us as far as our land and who we are? You know who I'm talking about. And it is for us to see if they, not everybody's a fucking seer. Some of y'all claim that shit and be cracking me up. Do or do not accord with what we know of the ancient man from latest scientific researches. Scientific researches for something that history that was always there, and they destroyed Tartaria, this, that, and other, and all these wars. In the case of the Vedic traditions, myths, and beliefs, we have the further advantage that they were collected thousands of years ago and handed down unchanged from that remote time. It is therefore not unlikely that we may find traces of the primeval polar home in these oldest books. If the Aryan man did live within the Arctic Circle, if in early times, especially as a portion of the Rig Veda is still admittedly unintelligible on any of the existing methods of interpretation. Although the words and expressions are plain and simple in many places, Dr. Warren has quoted some Vedic traditions along with those of other nations in support of his theory that the Arctic regions were the birthplace of the human race. Lokamanya Bal Gandhar Tilak, The Arctic Home in the Vedas, which I ordered the book. I should be here, I think it said next Tuesday. The Axis Monday Navel of Earth. And all you Muslim motherfuckers know what I'm talking about. The Kabbalah. The Cabal. Whatever that shit y'all walk circles around. Every day in Mecca. Okay, excuse me. Mecca, Saudi Arabia, where they murdered Muhammad and his cousin, because Islam didn't exist. Anyway, Arabia, thousands of Muslims gather and walk the westward circle around a tall black stone cube called the Kaaba. This Kaaba stone lies in the very center of Islam's most important mosque, the Great Mosque of Mecca, and is the most sacred site in Islam. Isn't it idol worship? Anyway, said to be the Bat Allah, house of God, where all Muslims must turn to face before daily prayers. The most common epithet often used for Kaaba translates to the center of the earth. And in the 9th century, Islamic scholar Al-Kasai argued that the true Kaaba was actually located directly beneath the North Pole star. This would mean the true Kaaba is actually Mount Meru and not the large black stone worshipped in Saudi Arabia. Thank you. This would mean that every day thousands of Muslims walk westward circles around Kaaba, just like every night thousands of stars rotate westward circles around Mount Meru, the very central point, the northern light. This would mean that just like the ancient Chinese and Greeks would face north before commencing prayer, the Muslims too are meant to be facing the North Pole rather than Saudi Arabia. Many legends of Mount Meru claim it to be a mountain composed of black magnetic stone, Mercator's Rupes Negra, Mercator's Rupes Negra, surrounded by 4 directional rivers and islands. And this is again echoed symbolically by the black stone, 4-sided cube of Mecca. Why does this black cube in Mecca so perfectly mirror the ancient myths of Mount Meru? Could this man-made construction in Saudi Arabia be usurping the placement of the true house of God at the North Pole? Remember the high place and on it, through the clouds in the heavens, the throne, Okay. That's another. I know y'all following. Y'all following me, right? Okay. Many sacred centers are aligned to the 4 cardinal directions. The purple forbidden city has 4 gates opening out to the 4 cardinal directions. The throne room of the royal palace of Mingdom, a perfect square oriented to the cardinal directions, was in the middle of Mandalay, which is thought to be the center of Burma, and hence of creation. Above the throne room rose a gold-plated 7-story, 256-foot Tower of Hayathat, which was thought to funnel. I'm going to show y'all something, but let me read this first. Wow, the versions is so deep. Wisdom of the universe to the king in its center. The great temple, I can't even pronounce this, and this is Mexico City. I don't even like calling the place Mexico City. Tenochtitlan, I can't even pronounce it right. Now Mexico City, and I know it. It's like when I say Autochthon. I can't even pronounce that right now. It's like my tongue's twisting studying all these languages. Was at the center of the island, the first spot colonized, and the spot where the eagle eating the serpent on the cactus was seen. And the sacred precinct had gates in the 4 directions and many other examples of sacred centers oriented to the cardinal directions come to mind, not least the Garden of Eden. With its 4 streams, the city of Beijing is known as the pivot of the 4 quarters and the sacred center of the city and the forbidden city. It is more precisely known as the purple forbidden city, purple being the symbolic color of the North Star, and the designation purple forbidden city, thus signifying that the emperor's residence is the center of the world, where in the center of the world is it the omphalos in the adytum of Apollo's temple at Delphi, the Oracle of Delphi and stuff like that. The navel of the world pillar in the Catholicism of the Church of the Holy, Sepulchre in Jerusalem. The temple of Madhameshwara, the Lord of the Center in the holy city of Benares, India. Easter Island in the South Pacific, whose ancient name to Pito Otehanwa means the navel of the world, and the stone markings kilometer 0. What's up, Papa? There you go, hold on. All right, marking kilometer 0 on the Ile de la Cité Paris, just in front of Notre Dame. And they burnt that down. Anyway, the Kanro Dar pillar at the Tenriko main sanctuary in Tenri, Japan, that I know, and the monument of El Mitad del Mundo, 22 kilometers north of Quito, Ecuador, Lake Paso in the center of the island of Sulawesi, Indonesia, and the pivot of the earth and heavens, and the spot where a rope once joined the two. And that's in a book, I think, Chet Van Duzer, The Mythic Geography of the Northern Polar Regions. I'm going to have to look into that book. It is, of course, impossible for these pillars, temples, and churches to all be the centers of the world, which only further proves the point that none of them are authentic, and they are each merely symbolic representations. The one and only true center point of all creation, the navel of both the heavens and earth, is undeniably the North Pole. But by giving us all these symbols, facsimiles, and by turning Earth into a gigantic tilting spear spun around the sun, the North Pole has effectively been nullified in the minds of the masses as being the true natural sacred center of the universe. I'm going to show you something. And it may be, and they say this is where they carry the 10 Commandments. Bullshit. There's more than that. There's 360 something laws, and 20 something of them, or 40 something of them being of those commandments. You see this motherfucker right here? Yeah, okay. Now do you get it? You know, I get brushed with, excuse my language, I get brushed with some of this stuff because I am so tired of what they've done and how they believe, they started to believe their own lies and live their fantasies out amongst our ancient history. And Aryan, as any of y'all know, doesn't mean pale skin or white. Are y'all aware of that? Who is the, like the Caucasian race and the Aryan race? Some of the darkest people on the planet. Damn, their skin was like blue. Yes, like that damn movie. Avatar, or whatever the fuck it's called. They didn't hardly have to eat. Anybody like that now? They can live with the sun. I mean, they can go months without eating. They can go weeks without drinking water. It is amazing. And then I wonder why they be washing with cow piss. Anyway, they're not as strong as they used to be. For those of you who aren't knowing. Okay, here we go. So we read the ancestral expedition, the writings of Captain Raoul. In addition to the data collected and custodian in times of the Great War, there are also stories of ancestral Republic navigators who ventured into exploration in conjunction with the giant technology on a risky passage to the cursed waters of Mars. Long ago, a survival navigator from the ancient lands known before the last reset had the idea of visiting lands across the second dome or membrane. So we know about that. So we're in the ship of repentance ones. Repentance ones. Okay? Hope some of y'all purchase some of these. They're not expensive. Now, I'm not going to purchase more books until you guys donate a few more dollars. You donate, I got about several books I want to purchase. And it helps the channel. And I'm going to probably kickstart my other, which I'll be doing more in depth, where we don't have to be all restricted and everything, my Patreon. And I've got some big books I want to read over there. And it's just exceptional. I've got some stuff that I don't want to talk about over here. Okay? Anyway, the ship of repentant ones. One day of heavy rain were not my dare. One day of heavy rain where not may dared to walk. It's supposed to say many dared to walk. Trust me, it's a misprint. Okay? I'm always saying, I read sometimes and I'm correcting words and y'all don't know it. And then I go back and I put the line. I feel like I'm doing school, grading people's work. Anyway, many dared to walk through the great streets of the ancestral republic. One day of heavy rain where not many dared to walk through the great streets of the ancestral republic. An unknown vessel was sighted by the Naval Guard in conjunction with the ISDT intelligence services and detection technology. For those times, it was not at all common to spot any kind of vessel that seemed to be going aimlessly and practically crashing into our shores. The storm, I think, forced them to stop on the way and find our lands. To our entire concern, we feared that it could be a strategy of the parasitic races to attack our lands. Being survivors, escape being survivors, escape from their yoke and also face them in a bloody past war. We could not afford to receive unknown ships without asking. We were certainly prepared to attack in case of being some kind of custodial trap. Trap. It was a moment of extreme tension of all the personnel there. Several men and women looked out, and we could make out their silhouettes raising their arms under the intense rain of thunder and lightning. Their ship stopped in our port, and they were received by naval officers. A man introduced himself to them, stating that his ship came from the lands of Mars, and that they were children, for those who want that word, children of the human colony that escaped with uncertain destiny, but that they were tired of the conflicts with other races that were being unleashed there. After rigorous examinations and being received by the President of the Republic and the members of the defense, along with other leaders, it was possible to obtain much information that had been previously ascertained with the trip of Captain Raoult. Also, their versions reported that the captain had been killed in cold blood, as they had been aware as soon as they landed on their shores, and a planned attack was carried out to kill the entire group, but that the team responded with technology they had not seen before and were able to retreat. Other stories were also shared by the group before departing again with uncertain destination, or perhaps for safety's sake, they did not want to say the lands of Mars. They didn't want to say the lands of Mars are a living paradise that could have had another destination, a magnificent future of peace and harmony. Its flora and fauna are unique and keep the most intrinsic mysteries of nature. Surely we will have more stories of those distinct lands that must be rescued from the same dirty hands that got in the way of destiny of many of the races, as well as the circle environment of the 178 worlds under this great dome. See, there's a great dome, and then there's our domes. Chapter 6, the portal hidden on Mars, and we'll pick that up tomorrow. And we'll probably go ahead and hit 7 as well, and that'll be it for this book right here. Because I'm ready to get into some more material to bring more elaboration, more functionality, so that way I don't want to trap you into believing everything I'm reading. I want you to research it yourself. But I'm showing you how it plays out. It's mitigated between numerous books. So I have to read different books to help tie everything in. And I need my fucking music playing. I'm sorry. Everything, turn. I like that jam. Anyway, I hope it's all making a little sense to you. That's why I'm always saying, like, I throw out little things. And I've been saying for a long time, check this out. And I know people always got excuses. Man, I'm working, I'm too busy. And you sit on your ass most of the time, and you're laughing, joking with people who don't really care about you. Because they don't care about themselves. So the more you get to care about yourself, the more you learn about yourself, the more you get to see different things and perceive different things, the more you can acclimate to better yourself and be the truth of who you actually is. So you won't have no fear. Because see, fear will stop you from breathing. It will stop you from existing. Panic will destroy you if you don't know how to change the direction of the panic and refocus that energy. Okay? So yes, I'm still going to do my yoga. Don't get it twisted. You can be there, you can do it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some shout outs. And I'm ready to eat something again because I'm hungry, y'all. I'm hungry. I want a big ass burrito, but they done partnered up with some Koreans, and I don't know if they're really the Chinese, K-pop. I'm not trusting what they might be serving as far as the best is of what they're making. So I probably have to make my own. Great Wolf, peace, bro. What's going on?
I appreciate that. My energy is bliss because of you. Rando, peace, brother. Much love and respect. Mama Red. Yes, that's beautiful. So as long as you wrote that down, I appreciate that. Platinum and gold, salute. Hey, you already know, family. You already know. I need you. You already know. you need that. You need. Oh, okay. Roger that. Lawrence Jr. Salute, kinfolk. What's going on, beloved? American Niji. What's happening? Mama Red, you already know. APJR. I know you like the fuck. Yes. And I appreciate all of y'all. And it was good. And look. I wear glasses. My eyes are getting better, but I need. People think that when I sun gaze out here, they be like, "You gonna go blind?" I'm like, "No, actually, my eyes have gotten better." But there are some things you've got to. If you want to sun gaze, the best time to do it is at sunrise and even at sunset, where it's a little more protected. Now me, it can be up top and I'll gaze for a minute. So there'll be a blinding effect, but then I close my eyes and I rest and I make sure I get enough magnesium, selenium, and all that in my food. And when I open my eyes, everything's clear as like crystal clear. Then it kind of goes back to, I'm like 2040 or 2030, something like that. And it goes back, but it's a little better than what it was. The thing is, I have to do it every day. And it's weird. And I have to maintain if I have like a slice of pizza or something, it's like I can see everything going back to, and I'm like, whoa. And that's why I have to eat the vegan ones. You know what I'm saying? All plant-based. But even now, that's changing. So, you know what I'm saying? I've got to really manage what I eat. And I need to make sure I have days when I just have a couple bananas, some kiwi fruit, some ackee. And that's it. Like this morning, y'all saw that I had salmon and a vegetable medley. Delicious. I got like 2 more servings. Refrigerated, or I leave it out overnight covered. It's all good. Fermentation is good for you. It's like mushrooms. Do you know what a mushroom is? It's mold, people. But do you think the FDA or the medical industry is going to tell you that? Of course not. Don't eat no black mold. That's just retarded. And look, you don't have to drink a lot of water, people. Water toxification can happen. 8 glasses of water, that's like blowing up your damn gut. What kind of a glass of water is 8 ounces, right? But what they show you is 12 ounces. Listen to me, these people are crazy. I'm telling you, no more than 4 glasses of water. If you need more than that, that means you ain't eating enough fruit and vegetables to get all that extra water. They want you to mess your liver up. And that even adds to liquid, especially if you don't have the right things to mitigate proper responses. Because the moment you start eating too much alkalinization or putting too much of that in your juices, what does it do? It benefits you, but too much, what does it do? It's like a catalyst. It starts folding in on itself. People, this is a reality. You dig what I'm saying? So my eyes, sun gazing is very important. You see what I'm saying? But they water. They water because it's a healing effect. And I love it. Sometimes y'all see me and you see like a little shiny. It just be my eyes watering. And it happens every once in a while, not all the time. And right now I'm looking at everything's clear. But also I got this negative light. And it's good to have light in the background when you watch something dark in the front. Are you aware of that? Remember these little things, okay? But breathe. Meditation. Give me about 2.5 hours. Yes, I know it's going to be about 5:30. So that'll be about 7:30 on the East Coast, right? 2 hours different. We don't do daylight over here. So you'll be able to be rested and more comfortable when you get ready to lay down and go to sleep. So come back, bring some people on in and join in. You already know, ladies, gents. I'm gonna sign off. I appreciate and love you all. I am so serious about giving the truth forward. Too much can be bad. Yes. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the reading. We're pretty much about done with all those right there. So, I got a lot more. And when I do these 2, I got to get the Civil War books in. So that's why I said I'm going to do, Patreon's going to be some heavy shit. Heavy stuff, excuse me. But these two together, oh, I've got other books on all this. But these ones are kind of my direct. So what I've shared with other people. So it doesn't take away from my beloved Rob Bell and a few other people. The young man is doing it now, started about a couple of years ago. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to give you my synopsis and breakdown, and you're going to love it. Lucius Gannis, what's happening? What happened? What, your message retracted. What happened? So I appreciate all of you guys. And of course, I was going to read a little bit of this, but I think I'm at the hour and 34 mark. I think for the meditation, I'll show you about the feet and the legs. All right, we'll break that down. For those of you who like martial arts and boxing, but it does more than that. It gives you another way to look at things. Okay. So my thing is to reach a different horizon in you, for you to have an expansion of thought, to process the process of mitigating a different functionality. You dig what I'm saying? You feel me, brothers and sisters? You dig what I'm saying? Okay? That's all I'm doing. Whatever's working for me may work for some of you. It may work for all. I don't know. Maybe some of you all already crossed that barrier. And so I'm going to continue to share that. Please bring some more people over. Bring some more people in, man. This is not about all this stuff that's going on. If people are stuck there, we need to let them be there. We need to have empathy. Cut the line of sympathy, because that is destructive. I'm serious. I can sympathize with anybody, but I'd rather have empathy for them. Look the words up. And a love abode that has no other meaning except for what it actually, remember I broke it down? It's real simple. It's not complicated. We've complicated stuff because they have made us complicated when we're much simpler. And I don't mean simple like dumb, like everything is really, when I say you're very powerful, how do we get back to being in that state? For some reason, we have to unlearn all the BS that we've been raised in and start seeking that little easy road. And as a team, we can fill in the pothole quicker. We can move the debris together. Anybody with Rangers and Delta and this, that, and other, you know that you have drills where you have to move with certain things, wheels, this, that, and other. And don't have no steering wheels, but you have a team, you have to carry and move these certain heavy equipment on a pallet, right? You have to mitigate, think, figure it all out, and then devise a way. And you're talking about over miles, back-breaking work. Sometimes do a little swamp area, mud, and all that. You have to accomplish it in order to pass the special force, the which card where you're trying out. Okay? It's the same thing. All right? So respect and love. Y'all have a grand evening. Lucius Gaines, where'd you go? Lucius, he. That's a brother. Excuse me. Yeah, he retracted. Anyway, y'all have a grand day, all right? And I appreciate you all.